Hello, welcome everybody. Today I'm going to make a meal and tell a humorous story about myself. So let's go ahead and begin. I am going to be making goikun. I'm going to be making it with just lettuce, jalapeno, tofu, some mint, things like that. Pretty simple. Oh, bean sprouts. And I am going to make a peanut sauce for dipping it in. So let's go ahead and begin there. It's a pretty simple recipe we're gonna use for making the peanut sauce. I'm gonna use peanut butter. I like to use the crunchy peanut butter because I like to have the thicker sauce with a little bit of crunch in it. And use some hoisin sauce and got coconut water also to make it a little bit better. I do like to make this kind of thick, but really you can do this however you want ratio wise to get it to the thickness that you like. So go ahead and start to make that. So last year I was staying in Tuyamo, just north of Ho Chi Minh City, and I needed to wash some clothes. So I searched for a laundromat in Google, and there were two options that were reasonably close to me. But the closest one only had 2 reviews. Despite that, I decided, you know what, it's fine. Let's go ahead and do that. It was walking distance, so went ahead and decided I would go and use that one. I think it's gonna need a little more peanut butter than that. Like I said, I like to make this pretty thick. A little for me. While that starts to cook, go ahead and I'm gonna go over here, get some of the vegetables I've got. All right, so got some romaine lettuce. I'll throw that down. And I've got bean sprouts and some tofu. All right, now I'm gonna cut some jalapeno pepper. Jalapeno is really good. It's a little bit crispy. It's nice for the texture for things like spring rolls. And it is, these ones especially, a little bit spicy. Not all jalapenos are really spicy, but these ones actually do have a pretty good punch to them. When I was going to get my clothes washed, so as is common in Vietnam, the location of the laundromat on Google Maps was not perfectly accurate. Eventually I did find where the location was. It was a very small shop that was selling things like drinks and snacks, just convenience store, basic convenience store, right? But I didn't see any washing machines or those types of things. And I'm like looking, I'm like, is this really the right place? It's just like chips and water in this very small, narrow place and no washing machines. Let's check back on the peanut sauce here. Lower the temperature a bit. You do need to let it simmer for quite a while so that the peanut butter cooks into the coconut water. So it does take some time, even if it is like hot and boiling already. But this is gonna take some time. All right, you can see here, it's still a little watery, but it's gonna cook a little bit longer. So some of the liquid's going to end up boiling off over time. So not done yet, but it's getting there. So just remember, it's really hot, water's going to boil off. So give it some time. If it looks like it's too thin, honestly, this is probably perfect for this moment. It just takes a little bit more time. All right. I've got some habaneros here. Need to get those ready to put in there too to make this a little bit more spicy. Usually I use the Thai frozen chilies when I do this, but I've got a lot of these at home right now. I think these are habaneros, but they might be ghost peppers actually. I'm not positive, but I've got a lot of them home and I want to use them before they go bad. So we're gonna use this for this time. So back to my story. I am standing in front of the dark store. You can't even walk into it. It's so small that you can't go in here. It's one of those stores where literally it's just the storefront with some things for sale. Standing there, and I'm still not sure this is the right place even, right? So person comes out, this old woman comes out, and I look at her and I'm like, I say something like, kayak đâu ở đây không? Something like that, right? And she just like nods her head at me like, So I removed my clothes from my backpack, and she had a plastic bag for me to put it in. So I just take the clothes, throw it in the plastic bag, and hand it off to her. And yeah, I asked her, it's gonna be ready tomorrow, because I was leaving the next afternoon. So I wanted to make sure, like, hey, giving you these now is hopefully it's gonna be done in time, right? And she just nodded, yeah, ngày mai. I don't think she spoke English at all. But yeah, gave her the clothes, assurance it was going to be ready the next day. All right, next, what we're gonna do, first I'm gonna stir this up a little bit. You see how thick this is looking now? Look at that, much thicker looking. I even fear, first I'm gonna turn it down a little bit, but I fear maybe it's even a little too thick. Again, I like it pretty thick, but it's okay. I'm sure it'll be fine for me. All right, so what we're gonna do now, I'm gonna take these spicy peppers and throw them in here. Just a little food processor. You can dice it up however you want, but I really like how this comes out when you do it like this. So this right here, and you have something like this, it just takes seconds. So even though a little extra cleanup compared to dicing it, a little bit more, whatever, it's worth it. You get a really nice diced up chili when you do it this way. So whoa. Wow, I like spicy, but I'm pretty sure these are ghost peppers. Because that's yeah, look at that. You see what I mean? You get this real nice and diced up real fast, real easy. Love it. Would recommend. All right, and once I'm sure this tastes the way I want, we'll go ahead and add this to it. All right, let's take a look here. See, as you can see, look how thick this is getting now. Much, much closer to what we want. If anything, it's slightly too thick, but I think perfect. One of the ways you can tell is if you've got bubbles coming through and they're popping up, that's pretty thick. You can kind of see it right now. If it's starting to pop and stuff's flying up in the air, that just means that it's so thick the air can't get through, it can't boil like water would, and it's just popping up, and probably means you've got it too thick. I am right on the edge here is what I would say, but ooh, that's hot. Yeah, that tastes good. So I'm gonna go ahead, add this to the pot, let it keep simmering like that. And yeah, I am just that crazy. Love spicy. I'm gonna put all of this in there. Oh golly, I do not want to miss a single bit. Look at this. Oh yeah, empty, got it. Look at this, look at all of that in there, all right? If you like spicy, come eat with me, come on. Just mix that in there nice. And yeah, going to just let this simmer a little bit now that we got that mixed in there. Be ready in no time. So, give her the clothes. She tells me next day, going to be ready, guaranteed, okay. But before I leave, she asked me for my name. You know, Tanko Kong Lai, something like that, right? And I tell her, Michael. And she looks at me, she's like, Tên gì? Michael. Cái gì? Michael. Cái gì? Right? Michael. And she looks at me. She looks at me kind of strange, and it's kind of like, oh, okay. So she takes the clothes, goes back into the store. I think we got just about everything ready here. Just gonna use some soft tofu. Lazy, don't wanna feel like cooking, frying it up or anything, but let me cut another piece off here. Be good. Wow. So, got a couple pieces soft tofu. That'll work good for these rolls. Okay. So, here. These are my favorite rolls to use. I think that these ones are really strong and don't need very much water to use, but they are firm, so they don't just, a lot of them, they stretch and like rip apart really easily. These ones, just a little bit of water, good to go, and very stable, tastes good, love it. Also, usually I use romaine lettuce. I forget which one this is, but this is a good substitute. Romaine I think is better, it's a little crispier, but this one still, as you can hear, we still got a little bit of crispiness here. So this is still good. And got a little bit of mint and bean sprouts. And that's all we're gonna really use today. Get a little bit of the sauce. As you can see here, look at this, real thick. Again, if anything, too thick, but it's okay. A little bit of that. Oh yeah, that's pretty spicy. Good. All right, so the next morning, I go back to the laundromat, pick up my clothes, right? And the woman handed me the bag, got the clothes in the bag, folded up all nice, looks good, piece of tape on there. It's got the price, I wanna say, check me here, I'm sure I got it still, but price on there, 20,000, maybe 22,000 dong, and has my name on it too. All right. Go ahead here. This one, so the Vietnamese ones, usually you don't need to do anything, you just use them. This though, way too hard. You can't just roll it like this, you gotta get it a little wet. So do that real quick. As long as every part of it just gets a little bit of dampness, by the time I get to actually roll it, it's going to be ready to go. So, problem most people have when they do this, too greedy. Put too much stuff in here, rips the paper, messes everything up. So just be nice and careful. Do just what you need. Look here, we got this beautiful looking lettuce. No reason to overstuff it. Go ahead and Put a couple in here. More lettuce, bean sprout. Normally, I would put some shrimp in here too. A little lazy to do all of that right now, but just imagine some nice boiled shrimps in here. Oh, wouldn't that be beautiful? Oh yeah. And a little bit of this in there. A little mint. Always good. I think I can even. I said don't be greedy. Okay. It's good enough, right? Look at that. Ooh la joy. Ha 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 ha. Beautiful, right? Could you make it any better yourself? Huh? Doesn't it look good? But, of course, moment of truth. You gotta actually taste it, right? Get a little bit of that on there. Nailed it. Maybe a little more mint than I typically would use, a little bit too much, but you see right there, nice little cross cut there. Really wish I had some shrimp in there. Would have been nice and pretty right here, right? You saw on the picture there, the clothes, the names she put on there. She put Mako, you know, and I saw that, and I don't know, I couldn't believe that she put that for my name. This is a borrowed word from French. The French, they use the word mackerel like the fish, mackerel. In English, we would say it like that, mackerel, whereas basically the same meaning in both French and English, or excuse me, in French and Vietnamese. English has also borrowed this word from French. It's one of those things where, you know, we both borrowed this word from French. In English, we would say Mac. So now you see it's a little bit different in English. In English, Mac, it means someone who's like charming, you know, good with women, you know, that kind of person. In Vietnamese, you would use the word galant, something like that, right? Which is also a French word. And again, English also has that word in English that would be gallant, which is, we use it a little bit different though. Gallant is more like an honorable, like a heroic person. So, you know, obviously Vietnamese and French, it's more like a flirtatious womanizer, something like that, right? Whenever you see a word that's both in English and Vietnamese, typically it's a French word, right? English, you know, England and Vietnam have that common where both were, you know, taken over, colonized, if you will, by the French. So we've had some French borrowing with words. All right, I'm going to finish up here, but I hope you enjoyed the story. Hopefully you either learned something about making this dish, or you at least don't think that I've completely ruined it. But thank you for watching and have a great day.